Between May 7th and May 9th of 2023, Papua New Guinea recently held its Special Economic Zone Summit here in Port Moresby at the Hilton Hotel.
It's time to change the way we think in a direction to secure the future of our children and our grandchildren.
The boom and bust of oil sets is non-sustainable for our economy. We must anchor economy in areas that is totally sustainable, where everyone, not just one few landowner groups and few provincial government and the national government, but everyone right across the length and breadth of our country are producing.
The Marape Rosso government has identified the establishment of special economic zones around the country to be the main driver for development here in Papua New Guinea. This will be achieved through the income generated from investors and subsequent employment provided for the local workforce. Guests from neighboring Asian countries of Indonesia, Bangladesh, and Philippines were invited by Minister for Trade and Industry, Honorable Richard Maru, to share how special economic zones had transformed their countries. These are the key learnings taken from each of these guest countries. Our next door neighbors, Indonesia, gave tangible evidence of what special economic zones are doing in their country. 258 special economic zone tenants have brought in over $8 billion worth of investment into their economy, providing employment for over 63 million people and increasing annual Indonesian exports from $33 million in its first year to $521 million in the first quarter only for 2023. According to our friends in Bangladesh, for special economic zones to work, you need market access to big economies like USA, European Union nations, and Japan. In addition to that, investment promotion treaties and double taxation treaties are required with many countries. You also need utilization of your strategic geographic location. For their example, they are next to the huge economies of India and China. For us, we are at the crossroads of the Asia Pacific, connecting Asia to the Pacific as well as to Australia and New Zealand. The final point, according to our friends from Bangladesh, for special economic zones to work, the cost of doing business must be low. Our guests from the Philippines reminded us that foreign investors want ease of doing business. They want legal predictability, meaning you don't change the rules in the middle of the game. Demonstrate the ability to honor investor contracts and they will come. In summary, our friends from the Philippines are basically telling us that you need minimum government intervention and maximum government empowerment for special economic zones to work. This basically cautions the host government not to create too many unnecessary hoops for investors to jump through, but instead to lay down a red carpet for them to walk through, to establish themselves in a special economic zone to fast-track production and revenue generation for the local economy. Our friends in the Philippines also shared with us that we need to equip the local workforce with skills and qualifications to be engaged by investor-generated industries. In addition to that, the security image of a country is a huge factor for investors. Investors prefer to operate in secure environments. If we can learn from the experiences of our neighbors, the establishment of special economic zones in Papua New Guinea will transform our country for the better. Employment opportunities, SME spin-offs, and increased export revenue will enable us to achieve two major goals set out in our Vision 2050 Master Plan of wealth creation and human capital development.
As I said through all the presentations, it's become clear. Most countries, the government does not play a role in SEZ development as an investor. It creates the enabling environment, provides the ground rules, legislative framework, and allows the private sector to play the major role. And that's how SEZs were developed in most countries and done very well.